Hey guys, Fire here from InDepth Gaming, bringing you another game review. This time we're checking out An Airport for Aliens, currently run by dogs. This game was developed and published by Strange Scaffold and released on May 25th, 2021 for a price of $19.99, although it is currently on sale for $17.99, so you might be able to save a couple bucks depending on when you watch this video. Let's go ahead and dive on into my current gameplay and we'll talk about the game. So, An Airport for Aliens Ran by Dogs seems like a very interesting game. As you can see, I'm instantly loading into my save here with my boarding pass on fire. The main principle of this game is you pretty much go around collecting objects to more or less meet the bribe requirements of the other characters in the game that will allow you to board the gate to take off on your flight. So let me make sure I have my right boarding pass here. I do not. So as you can see here, I have a boarding pass here that's on fire. Ultimately, I need to get a good new boarding pass, so you will always spend the game talking to these ticket dogs who will basically say the exact same thing in every single level, and most characters are cloned multiple times in tons of different locations in the game. Now, what you have to do is you have to then take your boarding pass. If you see that kind of top gibberish number, it looks like a 7 and an 8. You have to then find all these navigation points to try to figure out where in the world you're supposed to go on the game to then find the gate to then try to meet the bribe requirements of all the characters in the game. Along with that, there's a ton of random, quirky, and corny characters spread all throughout the game. As you can see, I'm currently in an airport that's shoved inside of a tree that just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And I think that's kind of the gist of this game. It's not meant to make a whole lot of sense. You're meant to spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what to do, but every level for the most part is the exact same thing. You can walk around and talk to these various pupper decks characters in the game where you just try to find different things or complete little missions, whether it's, finding the things they want from a bed to sleep in to a storage area to place things in. Now, one thing that it took me a little while to figure out in the game is you actually can hold everything all at once, and the items you pick up carry between the levels you play. So I can hold a bed, weird books, flowers, my passport, dog toys, just a wide variety of things while I'm in my play session. Now, in some of the levels, you're going to note that it's very difficult to really figure out how to traverse and get around, and you're going to have to spend a lot of time just either idling or finding the quick time zones, which are little rooms with clocks that kind of help accelerate the entire timeline of the game to allow you to ultimately complete any of the tasks that the game has. A lot of what you're going to do is pretty simple and repetitive. There's a few like collectibles type things that you can find in the game, but for the most part, you're just going to be rinse and repeating the same tasks that you're either failing or trying to figure out what to do while you're playing. It could be something as little as figuring out where in the world the terminal is you need to get to, down to not having any clue whatsoever what to do when it comes to a specific collectible the game wants you to pick up. Now, the game features, I think it's 6 or 7 different stages, and for the most part, once you figure out what to do, the stages only take you about 10 to 15 minutes. I'd say at most this game is only a couple hours of playing at all. Even through my experiences of playing now my second run through of the game and still getting lost as I play certain levels, trying to figure out what in the world I'm supposed to be doing. Um, I find it, interesting, fun, but also frustrating at the same time because it can be hard to just really figure out what to do and where to go. I feel like the game's learning curve when it comes to explaining what you're supposed to do in the game is very, very limited, and it makes it very hard to do much beyond just, playing and running around. For example, here I have to get all the way onto this platform, which is where my gate is, but the game is going to be very unforgiving while I'm trying to figure out where to even go for my gate and how to get onto those next platforms. Sometimes you're going to be dropping and bouncing around through a wide variety of puzzles, and other times you're just going to be mindlessly, walking everywhere throughout the game until you ultimately either give up, start a new game, or, really just decide not to care. I'm going to boot up the game real quick and let you kind of see what the introductory portion of the game looks like, so you can get a little bit of a perspective. You can do 4 different save files in the game while you're playing, so you can bounce around. The game also will show you in the very beginning some very simplistic controls. There's nothing that's too overly complex, although you can get stuck on some objects while you are playing. As you can see here, I did have this occur quite a bit when I'm doing the initial demo and starting as I played. And a lot of these characters feel like they're trying to push, humor that isn't really there, and it really doesn't do much for the game. For a game that I feel like is a lot about, dogs in an airport, I wasn't really expecting to just be talking to a bunch of photographs during my entire, time playing the game. If I have to give this game though any type of a rating and review, visually I think it's okay. It's nothing super overwhelming, especially with the hype that was created with this game. I honestly expected so much more. If I have to give this game any type of a rating, I'm probably looking at giving this game about a 3 out of 10. There's not a whole lot to do. A lot of the levels are pretty much carbon copies, just with a different skin. And beyond that, I don't think there's a whole lot of replayability in this game. Overall, though, if you guys do like the review, let us know what you think down in the comments. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you do pick up this game, I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you think about it. Outside of that, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.